was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was 19. I'd finished my first year in college. And then once I started college, throughout it, I was having these strange absences and fears that I couldn't put my finger on and didn't understand. I went to a neurologist about it, who asked me to come back during the summer when I'd finished my year. Before I had a chance to, I had 2 seizures and I ended up in Naas Hospital for a week, where I had the usual litany of tests run. I was diagnosed about 2 months after that, and to be honest, it was actually quite a relief to know what I had, because I'd spent months wondering and in fear. I didn't understand epilepsy, but I knew it was treatable. I found that I didn't open up very much about it, because the few people who did hear that I had epilepsy automatically had assumptions of what my capabilities were going to be. The doctors, for instance, told me to give up college straight away. They told me I would never live away from home, that I would never travel, and that I would never get a degree. So I automatically had these assumptions put down, and as a result, I spoke very little about it. I didn't let friends or family in that much on it. I suppose I came to terms with the condition on my year out from college, when I did pretty much everything the doctors told me I'd never be able to do. I moved out of home, I started working with an architect, I went travelling around Australia, New Zealand and Asia with some of my best friends, and I saw and experienced amazing things I was once told I was never going to be able for. So that gave me a whole new perspective on what my capabilities actually were, and it was that year that I opened up and I let my friends and family see what it was really like to have the condition, and let them see me have an attack instead of running and hiding it. It made life so much easier. I started to see the positives in having the condition and how I could use it to my advantage. I was studying architecture, so I used my experiences with epilepsy to inspire my thesis. I entitled the thesis "Creating an Urban Sanctuary," because I was aware of spaces around Dublin that I was more comfortable in when I was having an attack. So I used these to analyse the spaces and in turn used that to influence my architecture. And it was this project which ended up earning me my honours degree in architecture, which now hangs proudly on the wall at home. It's truly a dream come true to have it. I'm very comfortable with the condition now, and because I've pushed my boundaries, I know what they are. Down the road, I don't see it as being a problem because, as I said, everything the doctors told me I'd never do, I've done it. Common perception that people have of epilepsy and attacks related to it is of somebody falling to the floor and convulsing. However, this isn't always the case. I suffer with focal or partial epilepsy, and I have complex partial seizures. And these are very hard to describe and almost impossible for people to relate to. My attacks start with the onset of an intense déjà vu which quickly advances into an intense fear. My heart rate quickens as I lose awareness of what's around me, I lose the ability to speak, and I lose control of my thoughts. I also tend to shout during these attacks, which can be very embarrassing. And the more intense the attack is, the louder I tend to shout, but I never remember shouting at the end of it. My friends and family are very good at coping with this, so after I have an attack, I do feel very tired, but I always ask, how loud did I shout? And my friends would be very honest with me and tell me. But apart from the shouting, for all the world, anybody who's looking at me while I'm having an attack will think I'm daydreaming.